First and foremost, shout out to all of the brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. Before I even break this down, I want this to be very clear. I'm not going to be able to do what I do. I can't be who I am without these brothers and these sisters throughout the diaspora. From the Jamaicans to the African nations to the Caribbeans to the Afro-Latinos, I'm not going to be able to do what I do without them. Shout out to the African-American community. Shout out to all the people in America, in fact. But I'm not going to be able to do what I do without them. So that's why, to some degree, I consider myself a Pan-Africanist, if you will, because I believe in the unity of the diaspora. I'm all for that. I even helped to record a book which notes the spiritual sciences and the physical hard sciences and the history of the African continent and how it has always been the primary continent as it is centered on this planet Earth. And I'll show you the link of the book later on in time, but I'll even do a review on the book later on. But that just brought that up. I'm going to just bring my point as to how much respect I have for those brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora, even for those that are the immigrants that immigrated to America. Much respect to them all. Oh, this is how I move. Yes, indeed. So you'll never hear me saying anything disrespectful about them. Some of my best friends, some of my best friends are Africans and Jamaicans and Black Americans. I have some very good, some of my best friends, I have some really good white American friends as well. But I'm talking about the reason why I'm talking about the Jamaicans and the Africans and things like that today is because Camron said some things which I believe may have been offensive to some if they don't understand. Okay? Cam was right, believe it or not. He was right and Cam was wrong. He was right and he was wrong. He was right about not identifying as African American, as a fundamental Black American, or as a native Black American, or as a freedman, or one who has a lineage and the freedmen of America. Okay? That's the distinction there. And the reason why a distinction must be made there, because in 2024, you're going to see more of a push for those people and for their reparations, and the R word. Now, some people don't support the African American community or the native Black American community in their pursuit of that R word, and that's fine. I fully believe, I know they are not asking for your support. They have already mapped it out. They've done the research. They know what they want. They are pushing towards that. I hear some white Americans, some of my white American friends saying, "Bar, my family did not profit from that. We're poor. We live in check to check. We had nothing to do with that. Why would I not have to pay your family money?" I get that 100%. I get that 100%. I agree with that 100%. No, you were not there at that time. You don't have very little to do with that directly. Go on your way. But the entity that was there at that time should still pay. That's my rebuttal to that. And it's very simple. My rebuttal to that is, no, you as an individual member of America, white American, Black, no, you don't owe. But the federal government who enslaved these people and profited from their enslavement most handsomely, helping their GDP become number one. Oh, you definitely owe a check. No doubt about that. Once again, I'm not here seeking your support. I'm not even seeking your opinion on this. I'm just explaining to you there's a blood debt which will be due. Excuse me, there's a blood debt which is due and will have to be paid. That's why I say Cam is right, Cam is wrong. Cam is right by saying we have to differentiate from the African American terminology created by Messy Jesse Jackson, up with hope, down with dope. We have to separate ourselves from that. And separating ourselves from that African American term, we are not separating ourselves from our brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora. This is where Cam was wrong, because Cam did not make mention as to the significance of the separation from the term African American. The reason why it is so significant in 2024 is because the native Black Americans are becoming more conscious, and they are pushing towards that R word. Are you following me? And that push towards that R word, reparations, they are understanding that there have to be some type of differentiation, delineation to some degree. Only because we're going to have to make note of who is who and who is where. Because there are many Africans, many Black immigrants coming into the nation. And they also will take on the term African American. I showed you how Elon Musk can be considered an African American. So the term African American is fine, you keep that. But when you're talking about the native Black Americans, the fundamental Black Americans, those who have a lineage in chattel slavery, those that were here at the very conception of America, you're not going to be able to just classify them as African American. That is political garbage. Political garbage. You're not going to be able to put the people all in one pot like that. Now, you can't do that. Can't do that. And for those that understand how America rewards and pays out money to certain groups of people based upon not race, but based upon lineage, then we begin to understand why Camron's comments are actually needful. I don't agree with Camron 100% as to why he is saying the separation from that term is needful. He's trying to suggest that Africans don't accept us, they don't like us. I kind of pause on that one, Cam. Now, you my guy, but pause on that one. I'll use your word, pause. Pause on that one. Because you're not going to be able to say to me that the Africans coming over here that have migrated to America, they represent all of Africa, all of the African nations. So I got to ask you, which Africans are you talking about that do not accept us? Because I know many Africans, many Black brothers and sisters throughout the diaspora who accept us wholeheartedly and fully, who have knowledge of our history. Understand? Although we are a unique group within the diaspora, we are still within the diaspora. And that's why I think Cam was trying to note there. But then he kind of went left on me a little bit, right? By trying to say that they don't care for us. Now, hold on, slow down. Slow down. Because you can't judge the immigrants off of the people who are in that nation. I'll give you a perfect example. If I judged the Cuban nation and the Cuban people living in Cuba right now off of the Cuban immigrants who live in Florida, I would say Cuba is probably one of the most racist places, anti-Black places you will ever find in your life. But you gotta understand, the reason why many of those Cubans left Cuba is because they could not practice white supremacy. Yes, I said that. See how that go? See how that go? What Cam does not understand is that America, I'm not gonna say he doesn't understand it. One thing he doesn't make note of is that America has a vetting process when it comes to her immigrants. She only allows a certain group of people to come in with a certain line of thought. Now, some people can come in because they kind of tricked up the system a little bit. But the majority of the people coming in are going to think of a white Jesus, a white Uncle Sam, white people, white gods, and white saviors. And they're going to think the opposite of the black people. That's how it goes in America because of this vetting process. So you have to understand the majority of the people coming into America, they bypassed many other countries to get here. They bypassed many countries to come here. They knew the history of this nation and they still decided to come here. They do not fully represent everyone in their nations. And as I said before, I've met many African immigrants, Jamaican immigrants, black people throughout the diaspora who I now consider my brothers and my sisters. If something jumped off out of here, listen, I'll tell you straightforward. One of the first people I'm calling is my brother. He's African, but he's also American. So he's an African American. But he's a brother to me in the diaspora. But now if he asks me, Bar, do you call yourself an African American? Sometimes I do, but sometimes I do, but sometimes I have to differentiate because now you have all these immigrants coming in who are now classified as African American. I gotta say, slow down. My people were here from day one, A1. We're not visiting here. I'm gotta be real with you, fam. Gotta say that. I'm not visiting here. I'm not immigrating here. We were already here. We were already here from day one, A1. And because of our distinct lineage, we're the only people that can be classified as non-immigrants. And because of that non-immigrant classification, that will be the doorway to get the R word reparations. You understand that? And that's why Cam is right. You're going to have to separate yourself from that term African Americanism. You're going to separate yourself from that. And get right back to black. Straight up and down. Get right back to black. I don't know what the problem is with all that. I don't know, but we can go there. I get right back to black. Black people have been calling themselves black for 5,000 years. The people of ancient Egypt, of ancient Kemet, they called themselves the people of the black. Kemet means the black land. They've been calling themselves black for 5,000 plus years. There's nothing wrong with you identifying as African American, and there's nothing wrong with identifying as a black American. But be mindful, there is a group of people in this country who did not migrate here, and they have a lineage from the conception of the time here. That is the slight difference that must be noted. It's just that simple. And for me, it's about economics and economic empowerment. Because all this separation talk, it has to be pointing towards something profitable. And for me, it's pointing towards that R word. Because much of the crime, much of the adversity, much of the social ills and sicknesses that plague the black community in America is economic based. Because they have been robbed of land, they've been robbed of territory, they've been robbed of their financial resources. At one point in time, they had actually received their reparations. But then at the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, whatever president, well, I forget the name, the president came after him, he reversed it. How about that one? So the concept of this reparation or the R word, this is nothing new for America. It's just that black Americans, fundamental native black Americans, they have got sidetracked. They got off topic. They got off code. But now, once again, they're waking up to this, realizing the significance and the importance of this. Cam is just pitching in to some degree. Cam was right, Cam was wrong. Don't throw shade at my brothers and my sisters in the diaspora trying to say that they don't get down with us. They get down with us. Yes, they do get down with us. But at the same time, he's 100% right about separating ourselves from that term African American. Yeah, definitely so. Real talk. Get off that. That's the juice.